Good evening again. This is Atmospheric Alex here with yet another tropical weather outlook and discussion. This is going to be for our upcoming tropical wave that is anticipated to move into the Caribbean going into next week. We're still about a week out for this system, but we are going to be looking through some model data today. As we take a current look at our... Alright, that's going to be one for the bloopers, isn't it? I had my microphone up and not down for that whole entire period, so I do apologize for that. We're going to take a look at our satellite imagery right now. I guess I'm kind of losing it, aren't I? But we're seeing our big tropical wave. I'm actually going to mark it in a yellow color because, in my opinion, we should have a yellow area out here already, but we don't. Our tropical wave is situated somewhere in here. It's very hard to see, but it is anticipated to move on off to the west just like that, and we're gonna have to really watch out because there could be a few areas of vorticity that can kind of dance around and consolidate, and we'll have to see which one wins, because as you'll see later in the video, we're actually going to have a potential window of development right within here and another window of development right within here. So number one and number two, which one forms, is going to be a major question. We are now going to move on to our European ensemble model here. This is going to be our 12Z model run, so we get the full picture. You can see our tropical wave right here. Moving on off. I think I'm just going to keep marking it in yellow so we don't get confused. This is going to be moving off to the west like this, and you can definitely see there are a few members showing areas of lowered pressure, so we're starting to see potentially the slightest bit more confidence. But as this thing gets in further into the Caribbean, look at how much the signal begins to explode. We are talking about it here. Quite a few members are showing a very strong system. I am not going to say hurricane or major hurricane yet, all right? I'm going to just keep it very reserved for this video because there is a model that is in the mix that shows nothing still, and it has proven accurate. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves just yet, but there is a lot of members in here supporting the system, and you can even see a few of them swing it up into the Gulf just like that, and we really do not need a system like that, especially with how favorable the Caribbean and the Gulf is right now in terms of ocean waters, and definitely a very big concern right there, but not a forecast by any means. We're too far out. Our main European model is just a little bit different, but suggests a similar idea. You can see our tropical wave here as it moves into the Caribbean, and you can see our little area of vorticity does get consolidated right within here. You can see it's like right here, and it moves off in that general direction. So that is window number 2 of development. So we have window 1 here. You'll see that from the GFS, and window 2, which is what the European model is showing. Which window is it going to be is going to matter an awful lot, because if this thing strengthens a lot, well, this would probably do something like that. But again, too far out to tell. This does strengthen into a hurricane category 1 on our European model, and you could see right within there. So very interesting indeed, and we're really going to have to watch out for this over the next week or even more than a week. What does our AI ensemble show? Well, I'm going to say it right now. We actually are seeing a lot more agreement with our ensembles. Look at all of those members. We did not see this many yesterday, and so we're going to have to really watch out, but it really likes window number 2 the most. You could see right within here, and again, I do think that is the most realistic scenario, because you sometimes do get these little vorticity currents that come off of South America, kind of like this, and that could really spin up something quickly. So we're going to have to really watch out there. Window number 1's a possibility, but window 2 is favored by our European suite, so definitely something to monitor. A lot of those members push it quite far to the northwest, not a forecast again. The reason why I'm kind of steadying myself on the development chances is because of our AI model. Our European AI, or main model, is not sold on anything forming at all. And again, you may be thinking, well, it's a low resolution model, right? Earlier in the season, that's what everyone else was saying, when every single model other than the AI showed a major hurricane entering the Caribbean. That didn't happen, if you remember that. So definitely going to have to be something to watch, because if this doesn't form, and a lot of people are saying it does, this could be a bit of an issue for credibility. We hope this doesn't happen, but at the same time, Gotta make sure the forecast is fairly accurate, right? What does our GFS ensemble say? Well, at first when I looked at this, I thought for sure it was a glitched out old model run because it is really different than our European model. You can see quite a few members developing it north of the Lesser Antilles, which is probably not going to happen, but you could see the GEFS does capitalize on window number 1 right here. So window 1 is where we could see development, and it shoots it off kind of like this, but I don't really buy that as of quite yet. I do think the system is going to struggle to consolidate over the next few days, and window number 2 right down here is going to be where it forms more than likely, but I'd rather say more than possible at this point instead of likely, because there's a lot to figure out. And really nothing in window number 2. Very fascinating from our GEFS. Our main GFS model here shows your wave right within here, and it does something very bizarre. It gets caught up in other vorticity currents and moves due north. So again, I do think this system will definitely impact somebody, but who it impacts is a major question. But again, window number 1 right here is where it takes advantage, and then it gets ripped off to sea, and let's not talk about that island again. I've had to mention them way too many times this hurricane season, so we'll have to wait and see what happens, and then this does some shenanigans, and this is not going to happen. We could put a big red X over that. The GFS is completely drunk and out of its mind. How about our Canadian ensemble? Because we need to look at a bigger picture here, right? Well, you can see it is showing some early signs of development, and it does bring it on through, but it actually takes the majority of the members and develops it in between windows 1 and 2, which is an interesting look. You can see, again, here's window 2 and here's window 1, and the majority of the members do something like this. So definitely a much more unique, different solution there, much more different outcome. You still see a few over there, though. On our main Canadian model, well, it does show something quite insane. It develops it early on and really blows it further off to the west and stalls it out right over Jamaica right there. That's a little bit crazy, right? And this is not a forecast. Again, the Canadian is just one model, but it does some kind of weird stuff right there, and well, we don't want this system stalling out anywhere in the Caribbean islands, obviously. Now, here's something incredibly eye-catching. This is our FNV3 AI model, and let me just tell you, we are seeing quite a bit of development here across your Caribbean, across window number 2 right here. Few of these members are going absolutely ballistic. Look at this right within here. Not a forecast, but we do have a model or a member bringing this down to 891 millibars. This is, what is this, Wilma right here? This is absolutely outrageous and is not going to happen in that general fashion, but a lot of members develop it right here, take it off like this. If this run continued, it'd probably do something like that. So something to really watch out for, but please do not put much stock into any of these models just yet, as we are 312 hours out on this model run. This is unreliable data at this point. Our GENC, our Google ensemble, yep, shows window number 2 for development, and it definitely shows more development than it did yesterday. We're starting to see a little bit of a trend, if you could call it that, on our long-range guidance. With that being said, thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is the second video, so hopefully you enjoyed the first as well. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my little corner of the weather community, share this video with friends and family on social media, and even leave a comment in the section below if you found this entertaining or informative. Entertaining as for whatever in the world those FNV3 ensembles were doing down there. Goodness gracious, AI is being a little bit crazy nowadays, right? Even in terms of weather models. That being said, have a wonderful night, everyone, and stay weather aware out there, everyone.